Hi everyone, I'm Suzanne Lively. Thank you for joining me. On this channel, I share with you my love of homeschooling and my passion for everything book related. Today's video is a collaboration with Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from the Waldock Way. They've graciously started a show and tell series. So they have 10 and there's a different subject matter every month. This month, the subject is Meet the Teacher. If you're a homeschool mom on YouTube and want to get in on the collaboration, then please do. I'll have the link down below, as well as Jessica and Abby's YouTube channel. Like I said, I'm Suzanne Lively, and we have been homeschooling our daughter since she started school. We're a family of 3, and our daughter Vivian just turned 8 in June, and we've been homeschooling her since the beginning. We live in Nova Scotia, Canada. We started to look into the homeschool locally in terms of community and what support was available, as well as activities and that sort of thing, just in case the social part of it became an issue. And when Vivian was 4, we started looking into this community. I think it's really important to know that there are other people doing this and that you can relate to. So like I said, we started looking at the community. When Vivian's about 4.5, we started going to a drama class with other homeschoolers, as well as apple picking at different events to get to know locals in the area. We also were introduced to Julie Bogart and Poetry Tea Time, which we fell in love with. And I always giggle when I think of the first year that she would have officially had to start school, which is 5 years old in the public school system. And everybody mentioned that she was a homeschooler. Vivian used to run around and tell everybody, yes, we do poetry tea time. And she was in love, and nobody knew outside of the homeschool space what the heck she was talking about. But we fell in love with that. Although we were actively involved in the local homeschool scene, I do want to mention that we made the decision not to teach our daughter to read in a major way or to do math in a major way until she was 6 years old. And we base that decision on a lot of the research and books out there that say that the optimal age to teach children to read is between 6 and 8. And if they are taught younger than that, eventually they all end up on the same page. It all comes out in the wash kind of thing. And the only difference that they have seen is that some children who are forced to read when they're younger, if they're not really into it, can grow to dislike reading in later years. And I didn't want that for our daughter. She didn't seem totally interested in learning to read, so I let it go. In our province, we don't even have to register our children for homeschooling till they're 6 years of age. And that was the choice that we made. The reason that I'm mentioning that is because since I've started watching YouTube for homeschooling about a year ago, that was one of the things I started to question. And I finally figured out the reason is there's a huge emphasis on preschool and teaching your kids preschool on YouTube. And really in North America, that's changed in the last couple of years as well. I know in our own province for the past couple of years, they've been introducing pre-kindergarten. And that means that a lot of children are going to school at 4 years old instead of 5. I am not here to say one is right or wrong. Why I'm saying this at all is that I want to alleviate any fears of parents who are watching a lot of homeschool YouTube videos like myself. And if they're suddenly questioning their decision to take that path, I want to say, hey, there's somebody else here that did that as well, and things are working out fine. I really want to alleviate any fears in that respect if I can, and to say there is another way to do things as well. And big picture, I'm happy with the decision. But in those moments when the doubt starts to creep in, I always remind myself of one of the major reasons I chose to homeschool in the first place. And that is that I love the idea of teaching to where the child is at. So not only teaching to the children's interests, which I love, but also to where they're at in terms of skill level. I think it's one of the amazing things about homeschooling, and some kids end up ahead in some areas, maybe a little bit behind in others, but eventually it all kind of washes out if you continue to homeschool. And yeah, I love that about homeschooling. Anyway, I'm really grateful that we have the chance to teach to where our daughter is at. Which leads me to the next question. What is your homeschool style? We are definitely eclectic. And if you saw the video I made earlier in the week for our back to school series, it showcased all the curriculum that I just picked up from the printer that I had bound. And it was really all across the board. I had some Julie Bogart Brave Writer. I had some Charlotte Mason curriculum from Simple Studies. What else did I? Oh, I had so many things in that pile. And then I also had how to teach your child Shakespeare, which I think is a little more classical. So we throw in a little bit of everything. What is your favorite subject to teach? My favorite subject to teach is the arts and social science subjects. I've really loved teaching Vivian and myself about mythology and poetry and reading lots of literature, both classical as well as modern literature. I mentioned the social sciences because I really love teaching about world culture and different places in the world and geography. I'm really excited to be designing a world studies program for us this year that incorporates some of the fun schooling books. Oh yeah, that's another style that I love, the fun schooling books that are about the 7 continents of the world, and then really getting into some of the major places and cities and countries in the world this year. That is one of the subjects that I'm really excited about, and I'll just leave it at that. I really love the social sciences. There's a question I thought should be like an add-on to this one, and it's, what subjects do you think you love? Or what subjects do you think you're going to love to teach? I mention that because I've bought so much nature studies material and I've hardly done any of it. And I love it all. I think it's beautiful. I just bought another bundle the other day and, anyway, we need to talk. That's another subject, the whole nature study thing. The next question is, if you could choose 3 homeschool tools, what would they be? And I'm probably not original in this answer, but the first one would be a library card. I can't even imagine trying to homeschool without a library card. I know it's possible, but I personally do not want to do it. And I've been writing gratitude lists for years. And even before I had a child or started homeschooling, I always put the library on my gratitude list because I can't even imagine how sad my life would be without the library. I have been an avid reader for years and I just can't imagine. The second thing that I almost said books as a whole, and that would include the library, but I am differentiating those because we've been really building in an active way, especially in the last year, our personal library. And I love it. I am so excited. We don't have to worry about due dates or any of that sort of thing. We have our own library books for the subjects we're going to teach all year, and then some add-ons, and it fills me with joy. The third thing would be technology. So my computer, the internet, my printer, because it gives me access to so many other resources that I absolutely love. What inspires you as a teacher? Oh gosh, that feels like such a, What inspires me as a teacher is other homeschoolers, like those that I am collaborating with in this show and tell series. I always get a lot of information and excitement. It helps fill my cup. I don't feel alone. That's a big part of it. And also I learn about other great resources because we can't do and be everywhere. When I see other women taking care of themselves and doing such great things with their family and their children, it inspires me to continue. Also, I'm inspired to continue every day because I get to share the joy of my daughter learning. Like, I still love to learn. If I can inspire her to do that, oh, I'm so grateful. Can you tell I'm grateful? But I am. I feel really blessed and lucky that I have the opportunity to spend so much time with my daughter and to be a part of what ends up being a huge amount of time in a child's life. Are you an early bird or a night owl? I am definitely an early bird. I am way more productive in the morning and I prefer to get up in the morning, but I've heard some of the other ladies say to this question, I do tend to stay up too late and I am not a happy morning person if I stay up too late. My favorite teacher treat is definitely coffee. And I have gotten into some delicious coffee cream in the last year, which I keep saying I'm going to stop, but I continue on. My favorite at the moment is an Irish cream flavor. Do you prep and plan or go with the flow? I love to plan. I am a planner. I used to be a project manager. I definitely love to plan. Why I'm saying it like that is because I still love to plan. I love every part of it. I love to do the research. I get super excited about all the resources available and all the things I can teach my daughter. And I can go a little overboard. And if you watch some of my videos, you'll definitely see I do a lot of hauls, and that's a result of this planning and the research, and I just want to do it all. And you can't. So planning does kind of rein me back in a little bit. I will say that my challenge is, and I'd love to put it under the pretty umbrella of go with the flow, and I do, but I do go with the flow once I get the planning, but my challenge is consistency. Always has been, always will be. I like see the next shiny thing and I want to go do that. And that's something that I feel like I'm getting to practice with homeschooling, is how to deal with that. Way to find the balance between the excitement of doing something new, and you bring that energy to the homeschool room, which is great because the more excited I am, the more excited my daughter is. But to still make sure you're getting consistency and still teaching some discipline, which is also a skill we need in life. I personally loved Jessica's answer to this from the Waldock Way when she mentioned that she plans the heck out of it because she loves it, and then she ends up going with the flow because they do interest led, and then she pretty much has to let it go after that. And I feel like that's the answer for me too, to do the work and get the joy from it and everything and plan ahead, but then also have the flexibility. And that's probably one of the key things that we learn in as a homeschool mom is we get to practice letting go, letting go, letting go over and over. Final question, what is something that you enjoy outside of homeschooling? And I do want to preface this by saying homeschooling takes up a huge amount of time. And I think that's the season of the life many of us are in, and that's perfectly okay. I know I absolutely love preparing, like I already mentioned, and spending the time with my daughter homeschooling. And I only have her for so long. She's already 8 and I only have the one child. I want to squeeze every piece of joy out of that I can. Aside from that, I really enjoy spending time with my besties, and it helps me to recharge. The other way I recharge is I love to write and I love to read. And I think most homeschoolers probably love to read. What I've rediscovered in the last year and a half, which is actually what brought me to YouTube in the first place, is reading fiction. I have been an avid reader all my life, and for many, many years, I only read nonfiction. I mean, I read fiction here and there, but for the most part, I focused on nonfiction, and it had to do with what I was doing with my life. And different seasons in my life required a lot of reading, and there wasn't a lot of time for fiction. I didn't prioritize it, but I have been in the last year and a half, oh my goodness, and I have fallen in love. I find homeschooling gives me my nonfiction kind of fix, and I add in all the memoirs that I love because I absolutely love books of essays by women and memoirs. And then I read way more fiction than I used to. Those have been my sort of outside activities over the last year and a half. And I want to continue doing that for the next couple of years for sure. I'm loving every minute of it. I feel like I've been given a gift. I feel a little sad that I stopped reading fiction over the years. So I have a lot of books to catch up on and a lot to show Vivian. So yes, we do a huge amount of read alouds in our house, and I don't plan on stopping that. Okay, that was a lot of talking. I hope you're still hanging in here with me. I'd like to thank Jessica and Abby again for the show and tell series, and to thank all the women who are taking part as well. I'm really excited to get to know more homeschool mamas in this YouTube space. And thanks for joining me today. I will see you soon with another video.